June 10th, 2026. The Bislett Games in Oslo, Norway. One of the most storied Diamond League venues in the history of athletics. A track that has hosted legends for decades. The men's 800 meters field includes Emmanuel Wanyonyi of Kenya, the reigning Olympic champion, the reigning world champion, a 21-year-old who has broken 1:42 seconds 7 times in his career, tied with the great David Rudisha for the most in history. Wanyonyi goes out hard, as he always does, controlling the race from the front. With 250 meters remaining, a 17-year-old from Justin, Texas moves past Wanyonyi's right shoulder and takes the lead. What follows over the next 30 seconds is one of the most extraordinary finishes in Diamond League history. Wanyonyi responds, claws back, and with 10 meters to go, the two men are essentially level. The teenager dives. He crosses the line and lies on the track, genuinely convinced he has lost. The clock reads 1:42.08. Wanyonyi ran 1:42.09. Cooper Lutkenhaus won by 100th of a second, ran the fastest 800-meter time in the world in 2026, moved to 3rd on the all-time American list, and did it all before he has sat his senior year exams.
The last 100 was probably one of the hardest things I've done. Again, Emmanuel was coming on my outside and I didn't know exactly where I was. Again, I thought he got me at the line, so to be able to come out with a victory today is super exciting.
The professional 800-meter circuit has been asking the same question ever since. What exactly do you do about a teenager who simply will not stop winning? To understand what Cooper Lutkenhaus is, you first need to understand where he came from, because the background makes the trajectory even more staggering. He was born in December 2008 in Justin, Texas, into a family where athletic competition was practically written into the household structure. His mother, Tricia, was a 2-time Texas state qualifier in the 4x400 meter relay. His father, George, ran the 800 meters and competed collegiately at the University of North Texas. His older brother, Andrew, placed 4th at the Class 5A state meet and won bronze at the Nike Outdoor Nationals before joining Tulsa University's track program. Athletics was not a discovery for Cooper Lutkenhaus. It was the family language. What nobody in that family could have predicted was the scale at which the youngest son would take that language and rewrite the dictionary. In 8th grade, before most teenagers have run a serious competitive race, Lutkenhaus burst onto the national scene by winning the 800-meter titles at both the Brooks PR Invitational and Nike Outdoor Nationals. At age 14, Nike identified him through their elite program, a sponsorship initiative that selects just 40 high school track and field athletes per year, and brought him into their development system. The machine that produces American middle distance talent had identified something it had not seen in a very long time. The question was never whether Lutkenhaus was exceptional. The question was how exceptional, and the answer has been arriving in installments ever since, each one larger than the last. August 3rd, 2025, the USA Track and Field Outdoor Championships in Eugene, Oregon. Cooper Lutkenhaus is 16 years old. He lines up in the men's 800-meter final against a professional field that includes Donovan Brazier, a former world champion and one of the most accomplished middle-distance runners in American history. With 200 meters remaining, Lutkenhaus is sitting in 7th place. What happens next is the moment the athletics world genuinely started paying attention. He produces a finishing kick of such ferocity that he swallows the entire field in the home straight, crosses the line in 2nd place behind only Brazier, and in doing so becomes the youngest American ever to qualify for the World Athletics Championships. His personal best coming into that race was 1:45.45. A U.S. high school record, but not a time that suggested what was about to follow. The performance in Eugene was not a gradual improvement. It was a statement delivered in the final 200 meters of a professional championship race by a teenager who was still attending classes the following Monday morning. Later that year, at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, he was eliminated in the first round, a result that the media framed as a setback, and that Lutkenhaus almost certainly filed away as information. He had seen the senior global stage. He now knew exactly what it demanded. Everything that followed in 2026 suggests he went home and prepared accordingly. March 22nd, 2026, the World Athletics Indoor Championships in Torun, Poland. Cooper Lutkenhaus is on his high school spring break. While his classmates in Justin, Texas are at the beach or catching up on sleep, he is in Poland lining up for the final of the World Indoor 800 meters. He takes off early, runs a brilliant tactical race, and crosses the line in 1:44.24 seconds to win the gold medal. At 17 years and 93 days old, Lutkenhaus becomes the youngest individual medalist in World Indoor Championships history, and the youngest man to win a senior individual world gold medal indoors or outdoors, in the history of the sport. The previous record had been held by Mohammed Aman, who won the World Indoor 800-meter title at 18 years and 61 days. Lutkenhaus broke it by nearly a full year. After the race, he told reporters, "I came into this knowing I probably wasn't the favorite, but anytime I step into a final, I believe I have a chance to win." He went back to school the following week. His classmates were finishing spring break. He was a world champion. The gap between the life he is living and the life of a normal American high school student has never been wider, and it is only going to grow. June 7th, 2026. Diamond League debut in Stockholm. Lutkenhaus produces a strong finishing kick, overtakes the field in the home straight, and wins in 1:42.70, becoming the youngest man to win a Diamond League race at any distance since the series debuted in 2010. 3 days later, Oslo, the Bislett Games, Emmanuel Wanyonyi waiting on the start line. Coming into that race, Lutkenhaus was a perfect 5 for 5 in 800-meter races as a professional. What followed over 2 laps of the Bislett track has already been described, but the details deserve a second look because they reveal something important about who this athlete is under maximum pressure. Wanyonyi went out hard with his usual front-running approach. Lutkenhaus lurked behind him in the chasing pack, waiting. He made his move with around 250 meters to go, moved past Wanyonyi's right shoulder, and took the lead. Won the Diamond League. Wanyonyi came back. In the final meters, it took a dramatic dive over the finish line for the 17-year-old to claim victory. He landed and believed he had lost. He had won by 0.01 seconds. 6 professional races, 6 wins, against fields that include Olympic champions, world medalists, and Diamond League regulars. The professional middle distance circuit is not a training ground for Cooper Lutkenhaus. It is a competition he is currently winning. The time of 1:42.08 ties the 14th fastest 800-meter performance in history. It moves Lutkenhaus to 3rd on the all-time American list, behind only Bryce Hoppel's 1:41.67 set at the 2024 Olympics, and Josh Hoey's 1:42.01. The world under-20 record of 1:41.73, held by Botswana's Nigel Amos, sits just 0.35 seconds away. For context on how significant that gap is, Lutkenhaus has improved his personal best by 0.19 seconds in 3 days across 2 Diamond League meetings. The arithmetic on the under-20 record is not abstract. Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the man Lutkenhaus just defeated, has broken 1:42 7 times in his career, tied with world record holder David Rudisha for the most in history. Wanyonyi is 21 years old and at the peak of his athletic development. Lutkenhaus is 17, has broken 1:42 once, and did it while beating Wanyonyi in a finish so close that both men didn't know the result until the clock confirmed it. The professional 800-meter world is processing the reality that its current Olympic champion just lost to a teenager who will be back in a Texas classroom before the month is out. The time of 1:42.08 ties the 14th fastest 800-meter performance in history. It moves Lutkenhaus to 3rd on the all-time American list, behind only Bryce Hoppel's 1:41.67 set at the 2024 Olympics, and Josh Hoey's 1:42.01. The world under-20 record of 1:41.73, held by Botswana's Nigel Amos, sits just 0.35 seconds away. For context on how significant that gap is, Lutkenhaus has improved his personal best by 0.19 seconds in 3 days across 2 Diamond League meetings. The arithmetic on the under-20 record is not abstract. Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the man Lutkenhaus just defeated, has broken 1:42 7 times in his career, tied with world record holder David Rudisha for the most in history. Wanyonyi is 21 years old and at the peak of his athletic development. Lutkenhaus is 17, has broken 1:42 once, and did it while beating Wanyonyi in a finish so close that both men didn't know the result until the clock confirmed it. The professional 800-meter world is processing the reality that its current Olympic champion just lost to a teenager who will be back in a Texas classroom before the month is out.